Unleash the Titan Within: How to Master the Unparalleled Power of Your Mind. Compiled by televangelist H.B. Morgan. Let us be brutally honest for a moment. When you look at the gap between where you are and where you dream of being, what is the one variable that determines whether you bridge that gap or stare at it forever? It isn't your bank account. It isn't your connections. It isn't luck. It is the 6 inches between your ears. As Pablo so wisely noted, the mind is the most powerful tool that humans possess. It can be used to help you attain success, or it can take you to the depths of failure. Think about that. The very same engine that flies you into the stratosphere of success is the exact same one that can nosedive you into the ground. The difference? You, the pilot. Your mind isn't just a tool, it is the command center of your reality. It is the architect of your future and the historian of your past. But here is the secret the successful few understand: the mind is not a passive passenger, it is a loyal soldier. It will go to war for the vision you give it, whether that vision is one of victory or defeat. If you are ready to stop being a victim of your thoughts and start being the master of your destiny, it is time to explore the immense, untapped power you already possess. Let us break down how to turn this latent energy into a living, breathing force. 1. Critical thinking: forging steel in the storm. Most people react to life. They let the waves of circumstance crash over them, tossed and turned by every new problem. But you have the power of critical thinking. This is the ability to slice through the fog of emotion and bias to find the truth. It is the logical scalpel that dissects problems rather than fearing them. When you train your mind to analyze rather than agonize, you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this trying to teach me, and how do I solve it?" That shift in questioning is the difference between a victim and a victor. 2. Imagination: the preview of life's coming attractions. Everything that exists in the physical world, every skyscraper, every vaccine, every piece of art existed first in the invisible realm of the mind. That is the power of imagination and creativity. Do not dismiss your daydreams as distractions. They are blueprints. When you allow yourself to imagine a better life, a better version of yourself, or a solution no one else has seen, you are literally scouting the future. Your imagination is not an escape from reality, it is the drafting table where reality is designed. 3. Memory: the library of wisdom. Many people view memory as a filing cabinet for old photos. But memory is so much more. It is your personal library of wisdom. It is the database that prevents you from making the same mistake twice. But here is the key: don't just store pain, store lessons. Don't just remember failures, remember the resilience it took to survive them. A powerful mind doesn't dwell on the past, it learns from it, using those stored experiences to make faster, wiser decisions in the present. 4. The mind-body connection: speaking the language of cells. You are not a brain dragging a body around, you are an integrated system. The mind-body connection is real, and it is fierce. Have you ever noticed how a heavy heart leads to slumped shoulders? Or how stress tightens your gut? The converse is also true. A disciplined mind can calm a racing heart. A focused mind can push a body past what it thought were its limits. When you harness this connection through meditation, breathwork, or simply intentional focus, you align your entire being toward your goal. You don't just think about winning, your body begins to feel like a winner. 5. Emotional regulation: the art of steady waters. Life is chaotic. Storms will come. But the power of your mind lies in emotional regulation, the ability to remain the calm in the center of the storm. Emotions are not the enemy, they are data. But letting them drive the ship is like letting a toddler steer a speedboat. Mastering your mind means you can feel the anger, the fear, or the excitement without being controlled by it. You learn to respond with intention rather than react with impulse. In a world of chaos, the person who can remain calm and composed is the one who wins. 6. Manifestation: the science of becoming. Finally, we arrive at the most misunderstood concept: manifestation and positive thinking. This isn't about wishing on a star or just thinking happy thoughts. This is about programming your reticular activating system, RAS, the gatekeeper of your brain. When you fix your mind on a goal with absolute belief, your brain begins to filter the world differently. It starts to notice opportunities that were always there, but that you were previously blind to. This is the self-fulfilling prophecy in action. If you believe you are destined for greatness, you act with confidence, you take risks, and you persist. That behavior causes the success. Positive thinking doesn't magically pull things from the universe, it pulls the best actions from you. The takeaway: psychologists, neuroscientists, and philosophers all agree on one thing: your mind is the lens through which you view reality. Change the lens, and you change the view. Change the view, and you change the life. The power of your mind is not a mystery reserved for monks and gurus. It is a gym, and every day is arm day. Through visualization, meditation, and the conscious choice to focus on solutions rather than problems, you can build this muscle until it is unbreakable. So, what are you feeding your mind today? Fear or fuel? Doubt or determination? Choose wisely. Your entire life is depending on it. Courtesy of Wisdom, Intelligence, Success, Excellence, Wise Learning Publications.
Blueprint for a Winning Mindset: Unlock Your Potential and Design a Life of Purpose. Compiled by televangelist H.B. Morgan. We often chase success as if it's a distant destination, a corner office, a specific number in a bank account, or a public accolade. But the truth is, success isn't just a place you arrive at, it's a state of being, cultivated from the inside out. Before you can build the life you want, you must first build the mindset that can sustain it. A winning mindset isn't something you are born with. It's a dynamic, powerful framework of attitudes, beliefs, and daily habits that propel you toward your goals and allow you to find deep fulfillment in the journey itself. It's the lens through which you view the world, and it determines whether you see obstacles or opportunities, failure or feedback. Ready to rewire your internal operating system? Here are the foundational pillars of a mindset built for lasting success. 1. The power of perspective, optimism, and resilience. Life is a series of peaks and valleys. Your ability to navigate the terrain determines everything. Cultivate positive thinking. This isn't about ignoring reality or putting on a fake smile. It's about training your brain to scan for possibility. A positive outlook fuels motivation and acts as a shield against discouragement. When challenges arise, and they will, a positive mindset asks, "What can I learn from this?" instead of "Why is this happening to me?" Embrace resilience. Think of resilience as your mental and emotional springiness. It's the art of bouncing back from setbacks, not just to where you were, but forward because of what you've learned. Resilient people don't see failure as a dead end. They see it as a detour sign, a powerful teacher on the path to mastery. 2. The architecture of achievement, vision and action. Dreams without a plan are just wishes. A winning mindset bridges the gap between vision and reality. Master the art of goal setting. A goal is simply a dream with a deadline. But to make it tangible, you must deconstruct it. Break your grand vision down into smaller, manageable milestones. Each small win creates a dopamine hit that fuels your momentum and keeps you hungry for the next step. Celebrate those victories, they are the fuel for the long road ahead. Visualize your victory. Before you can achieve your goal, you must live it in your mind. Visualization is more than just daydreaming, it's a mental rehearsal. Vividly picture yourself not only achieving the outcome but also navigating the challenges along the way. This creates a mental blueprint, priming your brain to recognize the resources and opportunities needed to make it real. 3. The engine of growth, adaptability and lifelong learning. In a world that changes at lightning speed, a static mindset is a recipe for irrelevance. Success favors the flexible and the curious. Become adaptable. Change is inevitable, but your resistance to it is a choice. Instead of fearing the unknown, See it as the fertile ground where innovation lives. Adaptability means being willing to pivot, to change your approach when the old one stops working, and to see disruption as a catalyst for growth. Commit to continuous learning. A successful person is a perpetual student of life. Cultivate an insatiable curiosity. Read books, listen to podcasts, have conversations with people who challenge you, and be open to acquiring new skills, even those outside your comfort zone. Knowledge isn't just power, it's the raw material for new opportunities. 4. The inner game: confidence, gratitude, and grit. The most important relationship you'll ever have is the one with yourself. Your internal dialogue shapes your external reality. Build unshakable self-confidence. Confidence isn't the absence of doubt, it's the decision to act in spite of it. It's built one small, courageous step at a time. Believe in your ability to figure things out. This inner trust gives you the courage to take calculated risks and the poise to stand by your decisions. Practice radical gratitude in the relentless pursuit of more. It's easy to overlook what you already have. Gratitude is the ultimate reset button. By consciously acknowledging the good, your health, your loved ones, a sunny day, a small win, you shift your energy from scarcity to abundance. This positive frequency attracts more positivity into your life. Summon unyielding persistence. The road to any worthwhile achievement is paved with challenges. Talent is common, but persistence is rare. It's the quiet resolve to get up one more time than you fall. It's the discipline to keep working when motivation fades. Grit is what carries you across the finish line. 5. The external connection: networking and ownership. Success is not a solo sport. It thrives on connection and accountability. Network with intention. Building a strong network isn't about collecting business cards, it's about cultivating genuine relationships. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, challenge you, and support your growth. These connections provide diverse perspectives, open doors to unforeseen collaborations, and remind you that you are not alone on the journey. Take full ownership. This is where everything comes together. Radical accountability means taking complete responsibility for your actions, your decisions, and your results. When you win, you own it. When you stumble, you own that too. You don't play the victim or cast blame. You acknowledge the mistake, mine it for the lesson, and use that experience to become a stronger, wiser version of yourself. The journey begins now. Developing a successful mindset isn't a one-time event or a box you check off. It's a daily practice, a commitment to continuous self-reflection and growth. It's about showing up for yourself, day after day, with the intention to be a little better than you were yesterday. Remember, success is deeply personal. It's not about fitting into someone else's mold. It's about defining what a fulfilling life means to you and then using these mental tools to build it, brick by brick. Start today. Your future self is waiting. Courtesy of Wisdom, Intelligence, Success, Excellence, Wise Learning Publications.
The architect of your reality: why positive thinking is your most powerful superpower. Compiled by televangelist H.B. Morgan. We often hear the phrase, think positive, tossed around like a cheap consolation prize. It's frequently misunderstood as a naive attempt to paint a smiley face on a serious problem. But true positive thinking, it's not about ignoring the storm, it's about learning how to dance in the rain. It's less about a feeling and more about a strategy, a foundational pillar for building a life of resilience, purpose, and joy. At its core, positive thinking is a deliberate mental discipline. It's the conscious choice to be the architect of your own mindset, focusing on the constructive and optimistic aspects of your journey, no matter what detours you encounter. It's the powerful act of interpreting life not as a series of obstacles, but as a landscape of opportunities waiting to be uncovered. This isn't a passive wish, it's an active practice built on a set of transformative principles. The pillars of a powerful mindset. Unshakable optimism: this is the engine of ambition. It's not just hoping things will get better, it's a deep-seated belief that your actions can and will lead to positive outcomes. It's the quiet confidence that whispers, I can figure this out, even when the path ahead is unclear. Solution-based focus, the world loves to point out problems. Your power lies in becoming a solver. Instead of getting bogged down in the quicksand of what's wrong, a positive mindset immediately pivots to what's the next right move. It's the difference between staring at the locked door and searching for the key. The attitude of gratitude. Gratitude is the ultimate reality shift. It anchors you in the abundance of the present, rather than the scarcity of what you lack. By appreciating the small wins, the warmth of the sun, a kind word from a friend, your own persistent breath, you broadcast a frequency that attracts more things to appreciate. Bold self-confidence, this is the unshakable faith in your own capacity to navigate the tides of life. It's knowing that you have survived 100% of your worst days so far, and you have the resourcefulness to handle what comes next. You trust yourself. Relentless resilience, life will knock you down, that's a guarantee. Resilience isn't about never falling, it's about how quickly you get back up. It's the ability to extract the lesson from the loss, find the strength in the struggle, and move forward with even more wisdom than before. Empowering self-talk, who is the voice in your head? Is it a harsh critic or a loving coach? Positive thinking means curating that inner dialogue. It's swapping I can't do this for I'm learning how to do this. It's using affirmations not as empty platitudes, but as tools to rewire your brain for success. Mindful presence, anxiety lives in the future, regret lives in the past. Peace lives in the now. Mindfulness is the practice of anchoring yourself in the present moment, noticing the good that already exists in your immediate surroundings. It's the art of finding the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary. The ripple effect of a positive mindset. When you commit to these principles, you don't just feel better, your entire reality begins to transform. The benefits aren't just spiritual, they are deeply practical. Stress less, live more. By focusing on solutions, you cut off the fuel supply to anxiety. Sharpen your mind. A clear, optimistic brain is a better problem solver and a magnet for creative ideas. Deepen your connections. Optimism is contagious. People are naturally drawn to those who radiate warmth, hope, and genuine encouragement. Ignite your motivation. When you believe a positive outcome is possible, taking the next step feels less like a chore and more like a purpose. A crucial note, this is not about spiritual bypassing. Positive thinking is not about suppressing sadness, ignoring pain, or pretending everything is perfect. True strength lies in acknowledging the full spectrum of human emotion. It's about saying, I see this challenge, I feel this pain, and I am choosing to also look for the lesson, the growth, and the light that exists alongside it. Your journey to a brighter outlook. Like any superpower, this mindset requires training. It won't happen overnight, but every conscious thought is a rep in the gym for your brain. Start small. Try cognitive reframing. When a negative thought arises, ask yourself, what's another way to see this? Begin a gratitude journal, jotting down 3 things you are grateful for each day. Practice mindfulness for 5 minutes each morning. Most importantly, audit your environment. Surround yourself with people, media, and influences that lift you higher. You have the power to choose your focus. You can look at the field and see only the weeds, or you can see the potential for a garden. The lens you choose doesn't just change how you see the world, it changes the world you create for yourself. Choose the lens that builds, that heals, and that empowers. Courtesy of Wisdom, Intelligence, Success, Excellence, Wise Learning Publications.
Stop Renting Space to Doubt, a guide to getting your momentum back. Compiled by televangelist H.B. Morgan. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Nelson Mandela. Let us be honest for a second. That voice in your head that whispers, "You are not ready," or shouts, "Who do you think you are?" It's a terrible roommate. It eats your food, leaves a mess, and charges you emotional rent. Doubt isn't just a fleeting feeling, it's a handbrake. If you let it sit in the driver's seat, you'll stay parked in the comfort zone while the world accelerates without you. But here's the liberating truth: your mindset isn't a fixed trait. It's a skill. And like any skill, you can train it. You can stop the spiral, evict the negativity, and reclaim the driver's seat. Here is your toolkit for the reset. 1. Stop driving while looking in the rearview mirror. The past is a completed chapter. You can't edit it, and you certainly can't live there. If you are judging today's opportunities based on yesterday's bruises, you are sabotaging your own future. The road ahead is where the destination lies. Keep your eyes on it. 2. Reframe your mistakes as data points. From interns to CEOs, everyone stumbles. The difference is how you interpret the fall. High achievers treat a mistake like a software bug. They diagnose it, fix it, and update the system. Don't let one stumble convince you that you aren't meant to walk the path. 3. Shift your focus from what's wrong to what's next. It's natural to analyze a problem, but don't set up camp there. Obsessing over a flaw doesn't fix it, it just fuels anxiety. Acknowledge the issue, learn the lesson, and then pivot 100% of your energy toward the solution. 4. Trade blame for accountability. When things go sideways, it's tempting to look for a scapegoat in the world, in other people, or in yourself. But blame is a dead end. Accountability is the on-ramp. Fix the problem first, then figure out the process improvement later. 5. Break the thought loop. The moment you catch your brain spiraling into what if I fail mode, interrupt it. Literally tell yourself, stop. Take a breath. Stand up. Walk outside. Physical movement can break a mental pattern faster than any amount of positive thinking. 6. Audit your inner circle. Negativity is contagious. If your social feeds and coffee dates feel like a misery loves company support group, it's time to branch out. Seek people who challenge your excuses and genuinely celebrate your ambition. 7. Externalize the noise. Thoughts are deafening when they're trapped in your head. Write them down. Putting a negative thought on paper makes it look smaller, more manageable, and often less logical. Then, balance the scales by listing 3 things that are going right no matter how small. 8. See failure as tuition. Think of every setback as the price of admission to the next level. Every successful entrepreneur has a graveyard of failed ideas that taught them exactly what they needed to know to finally win. You are not losing, you are learning. 9. Obsess over small wins. You don't build a legacy in a day. Massive goals are just a series of tiny tasks, finished well. Celebrate finishing the outline, not just the book. Those small hits of dopamine are the fuel that keeps you going for the long haul. 10. Stay fluid, not rigid. If the road to your dream is blocked, don't abandon the dream, change the route. Adaptability isn't giving up, it's being smart enough to navigate around obstacles that weren't on your original map. The bottom line: you can't always control the first thought that pops into your head. But you have 100% control over the second one. Change the narrative you tell yourself, and you will change the trajectory of your life. It's time to evict the doubt. Your momentum is waiting. Courtesy of Wisdom, Intelligence, Success, Excellence, Wise Learning Publications.
The Comfort Trap: Why Feeling Stuck is Actually a Decision. Compiled by televangelist H.B. Morgan. It is during our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light. Aristotle. We've all experienced it. You're staring at a blinking cursor, an untouched project, or maybe just yesterday's dishes, and you feel completely immobilized. Not just lazy, but genuinely stuck, paralyzed by the weight of your own potential. But here's the truth that changes everything: stuck is a feeling, but staying stuck is a choice. Let's unpack why we get trapped, and more importantly, how to walk out. The myth of the fairness ceiling. One of the sneakiest traps we fall into is the fairness fallacy. We look at people who are crushing their goals and whisper to ourselves, well, life just isn't fair. And you're right. It isn't. Some people get a head start. Some people get lucky breaks. But here's the problem, pointing out that the playing field isn't level doesn't move you an inch forward. Obsessing over life's unfairness is like refusing to walk because you don't own a car. It may be a valid complaint, but it doesn't get you to your destination. You are allowed to feel disappointed by your circumstances. You are not allowed to let that disappointment become your permanent residence. The geography of growth. In high-performance sports, coaches talk about the difference between the comfort zone and the stretch zone. The comfort zone, it's warm. It's safe. It's predictable. It's also a desert where nothing new ever grows. The stretch zone, it's awkward. It's sweaty. It requires you to be clumsy and new again. It's also the only place where results live. If you refuse to leave the shore because you're afraid of the waves, you aren't protecting your peace, you're choosing stagnation over the possibility of discovery. The mirror test. The next time you feel the walls of inertia closing in, pause and ask yourself these 3 questions. Be brutally honest. 1. If nothing changes, will I be happy I stayed here a year from now? 2. Am I settling for a life that's fine because I'm terrified of one that's hard? 3. Is this rut really protecting me, or is it just slowly burying me? If the answers make you uncomfortable, good. That discomfort isn't your enemy, it's your wake-up call. Stop waiting for a rescue. It is okay to be unhappy with where you are. That dissatisfaction is the fuel in the tank. But there is a massive difference between unhappiness and moping. Unhappiness says, I don't like this. How do I change it? Moping says, I don't like this. I'll wait here until someone fixes it. Here's the hard truth, the world is too busy writing its own story to come and pull you out of the mud. No one is coming to rescue you. You have to be your own hero. Stop waiting for the spark of motivation to strike you like lightning. Motivation is a liar, it promises to come later, but it rarely shows up on time. Start with a single spark of discipline. Move one muscle. Write one sentence. Fold one shirt. The fire will follow the action, not the other way around. Ready to step out of the trap? Start by doing one small thing today that your future self will thank you for. Courtesy of Wisdom, Intelligence, Success, Excellence, Wise Learning Publications.
Silence Your Inner Critic, a powerful guide to crushing doubt and embracing possibility. Compiled by televangelist H.B. Morgan. Every great achievement in history began as a single thought, a seed of possibility. But between that thought and its realization lies the biggest obstacle you'll ever face, your own self-doubt. That nagging voice in your head that whispers, you are not good enough, or who do you think you are, is the invisible chain keeping you anchored to mediocrity. If left unchecked, doubt doesn't just slow you down, it stops you entirely. It convinces you that the comfort zone is safer than the unknown, and that failure is something to fear rather than embrace. Here's the truth you need to hear: doubt is contagious, and it starts with you. When you doubt yourself, you project that uncertainty onto the world. You second-guess decisions, hesitate at opportunities, and ultimately, you shrink. The people around you feel it too. Energy is transferable, and negativity has a way of casting a long shadow over any room you walk into. But here's the good news: you are not stuck with that voice. You have the power to rewrite the script. Mastering positive thinking isn't about faking happiness or slapping a smile on a bad day. It's about retraining your brain to see possibility before problem, and progress before perfection. It's about catching that negative first instinct and choosing a different path, one that leads you forward, not backward. If you are ready to stop standing in your own way, here are 10 transformative strategies to help you silence the noise and step into your power. 1. Release the grip of the past. The past is a reference point, not a residence. Whatever happened yesterday, mistakes, heartbreaks, missed chances has already been written. But you are holding the pen for today. When you stop letting history dictate your worth, you free yourself to write a new story. 2. Reframe your failures as fuel. Mistakes are not markers of your inability, they are milestones of your growth. Every wrong turn teaches you something a straight road never could. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" 3. Shift from problems to possibilities. It's easy to fixate on what's broken. But what you focus on expands. When you catch yourself scanning for what's wrong, pause and redirect. Train your mind to look for solutions, opportunities, and lessons. Your perspective shapes your reality. Choose one that empowers you. 4. Own your part, then let go of blame. Blaming others might offer temporary relief, but it permanently stalls your growth. Accountability is freedom. When you take ownership of your choices and responses, you reclaim your power. Then, offer feedback, not criticism, and move forward with clarity. 5. Master the art of the pause. When negativity rises, and it will meet it with a gentle but firm stop. This isn't about suppression, it's about redirection. Take a breath. Feel the emotion, then consciously choose a thought that serves you better. Over time, this pause becomes your superpower. 6. Curate your circle carefully. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If your circle is filled with cynics and complainers, their doubt will seep into your spirit. Seek out those who uplift you, challenge you, and believe in your potential even when you forget to. 7. Write your way to clarity. A journal is more than a record of your day, it's a tool for transformation. Write down the negative thoughts swirling in your mind, then challenge them. Reframe each one with compassion and truth. Seeing your thoughts on paper helps you realize they are just thoughts, not facts. 8. Redefine your relationship with failure. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of it. Every person you admire has failed more times than you know. The difference? They didn't stop. They treated failure as feedback and kept going. So can you. 9. Celebrate every step forward. You don't need a finished masterpiece to celebrate. Honor the small wins, the early mornings, the brave conversations, the days you showed up even when it was hard. Momentum is built one small victory at a time. 10. Stay fluid, stay flexible. Life rarely goes according to plan, and that's okay. Rigidity breeds frustration, adaptability breeds growth. When things shift, don't resist, respond. Look for the hidden opportunity in every detour. Sometimes the best destinations are the ones we never planned to visit. You were not made to live small. That voice of doubt. It's not your truth, it's just an old habit. And habits can be broken. Starting today, choose to believe in yourself a little more. Speak to yourself with kindness. Take one step, then another. And watch how far you go when you finally get out of your own way. Courtesy of Wisdom, Intelligence, Success, Excellence, Wise Learning Publications.